Who do we have here then? Are those teeth in that jar? Some interesting old furniture. Okay, wait, when did you get up? Oh, hello. Creepy much? Ooh, that's a nice house. I might like to don that.
Ow! Ah! What's this?
These children are either master ventriloquists or they're really, really, really creepy and something shining is about to happen. You are going to grow into that face, child. Ooh. How hard did you pull the thing? Come on.
Ooh.
That's not ominous at all.
Oh, look! It's a book!
Oh, joy. Oh,
Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map.
That is just straight up the ugliest child I've ever seen. Wow.
No, I don't
Yee.
think so.
Oh. That is a face you could use to frighten other children. Wow.
I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle.
Spoilers.
And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
That's Marquis, surely. Ooh, hello there. You would be our Mr. Sherlock, would you not?
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
That is some very clunky dialogue, but okay.
Do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course? In the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
Right. Well, to quote A Study in Scarlet, criminal cases are continually hinging upon that one point. A man is suspected of a crime months perhaps after it has been committed. His linen or clothes are examined and brownish stains discovered upon them. Are they blood stains or mud stains or root stains or fruit stains, or what are they? That is a question which has puzzled many an expert, and why? Because there was no reliable test. Now we have the Sherlock Holmes' test, and there will no longer be any difficulty. Okay, so it's wanting us to move around. Whoop. Off you go, Holmes. Right. Now where should we go? Look at the broken showcase and click on it. Okay, you might have told me that before I moved away from it, but sure.
This window was cut with a diamond. A clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
Which suggests a fairly small hand, if nothing else. Let's see, what else can we find around here then? Oh, hello, window.
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
And combined with the locked door, suggests therefore that we are looking...
A mark, undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
Yes, Watson, once again you're magnificent at pointing out the obvious. But it suggests a closed room scenario. Specifically, it suggests that the thief was already in the room when they arrived here. Go to the chimney, you'll see the hand icon on the magnifying glass. Okay. Let's pick that up then. A classic little item there. Clicking the right mouse button opens the inventory. Okay, so there is our magnifying glass. We'll look at knife and matches. Okay, so what else can we observe around here then? Yeah, nothing here. Near the piano, some music scrolls are on the floor. There we are.
I need something.
Yes, you need the magnifying glass. Okay, so what do we have over here?
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
Ah.
These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
It means that the fire started and then they were moved over, but those hands were out of proportion for humans. Oh, good. Finally, first person mode will help quite a bit. Left shift will make my character run. Okay, that's helpful to know. So we know that the thief was in the room. And we know that they had something to do with this fireplace, quite probably with the fire itself. But I'm not seeing any more context around here. Probably because it wants to see me do some other stuff. Okay, point and click mode also exists. Ah. I think I prefer first person, personally. By pressing space, you activate Sherlock Holmes' sixth sense. It will show you a hint not discovered yet. Aha. Now search for clues in the room.
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
Yes, except that we know it wasn't.
Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
No.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
Yeah, they're all the wrong size, really, for what we're looking at here.
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
Suggests someone moved past them in a hurry. And if they did that, then they would be moving also past this bell pool.
The chest wasn't opened. The necklace wasn't in it.
Ah, okay, we're getting a better idea now. So we're looking at someone very small who was in the room to begin with.
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
Just the one? Curious. We're looking for someone who was already in the room when it was sealed at the start of the night.
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
No doubt that's where
As
they
the
hid.
theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draft screen and waited until he was alone in the room. Strange. There aren't any prints. Yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
So he definitely hid there before the fire. Which means the fire happened whilst he was committing the robbery.
These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
Okay. Ooh, hello.
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier.
Right. So we've got non-human prints upon this. We know there was a fire. We know that there's no marks on here, which suggests they started over here. So we're looking at an ape. So that's my theory. We're looking at a monkey of some description. So they start over here, they cut it out, make their way to the window, where they start to cut their way out, but there is a fire. They panic, knock over that, pull the bell, dash around here more or less, walking over these piano notes, and ending up on top of the chandelier. The room would be full of smoke by the time they got that door open, so they wouldn't ever notice a small little acrobat, an acrobatic chimp of some kind. But why is there a dead fish? It could simply be from poor care, but I wonder. Have you seen anything in there? You can't crouch, so I don't know. I think I have everything.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
Because
This
he's
door
very
is
small.
very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
What do you think, Holmes?
Let us search the room before the police get here. We might throw some light onto all this.
Well, I suppose I should look at all of the clues before I make my deductions. Is there anything else I haven't checked, though?
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
Is that everything? Let's take a look. Nope, nothing there. Anytime you want to recharge their Holmes power? Nope. Nothing there. And there we are. Oh, the fireplace itself. Okay.
Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
He didn't notice it.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, you're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time.
Could you maybe try arriving a little bit ahead of the nick of time?
But I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
I believe we have.
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
Dr. Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small?
Yep.
Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small and remarkably agile,
For a
You're
human.
thinking of a monkey?
and a trained monkey at that, without a doubt, a Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America.
Which I'm presuming he deduced from that print.
The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours,
Behind
calmly
the guard.
awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place
Screen.
and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor,
Leaving the studio
before
for
hiding
bits.
inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle.
Aha.
Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson, a poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious
so he didn't
necklaces
just die of
in
old age or
England.
poorkeep.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now.
Wet sleeve.
Marquis,
Very nice.
here is your necklace, intact, just a little wet.
Although that will
Mr.
probably damage
Holmes,
the boot.
This brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the...
I swear that's not
authenticity
how
of
that
our
name is
jewel?
pronounced.
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Something this
I
valuable
will
should be
return
examined.
the box and
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Interesting times.
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
Nice.
the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Back to 221B Baker
very
Street.
well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
Seriously,
With
stop
pleasure,
mispronouncing that.
gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
You are really, really well made up. Jeez. I feel like we just called him from the opera. Ah, there we go. Ooh, pretty fireplace. Throw some marshmallows on that. Okay, so what's happening then? Where's Miss Hudson?
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
Oh dear, what's Snooky done this time? This game of Vasco, yesterday celebrated Detective Sherlock Holmes, inspired by the manner of the Marquis of Cunningham to supply his conclusions following his investigation. Need the bell, which jewels is available if the door was open, yada yada. Starting factor is no thief was found within the room. Strong density of crystal aragonite that they are made of, priceless necklace, brought here at the beginning of the century. If the necklace was not simply an... I'm going to place a simple question. Should we not, in all open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for a fake by Mr. Holmes himself? And my idea is that the brutality of this question without any preconceptions may certainly shock some of you. But the facts are there, and our thoughts and judgment should not be confused with regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes' methods. Can our occasion to escape Arsène Lupin? Answer to Prince Woodfield recognized. Lord's committees have been in order to verify Prince Woodfield's made a conclusion public last night. To our surprise, Mr. Tyler was confirmed. Okay.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
Interesting, but
You
no.
know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines, the door's open.
Curious. Also, magic door.
Mr. Holmes.
Ooh.
How did you know I was here?
You are one of our
Victoria
rare visitors
Regina,
who
shot
avoids
into the wall.
second to last
We
step
are.
of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that, Rag?
Regrettably. Ah, I presume you mean the necklace piece, though.
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
I would honestly do it, but oh well. Slander?
Inspector, can you explain this slander?
Okay, apparently I'm
Has the
telepathic.
necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true.
Oh.
About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
Good to
The
know.
necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very
Authenticate.
eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory.
Of course.
I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis
They're saying he's a
assures us that
tabloid
you were
writer.
the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
So what exactly can we say of the
And
Marchioness?
the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
That is a...
What a lovely marriage.
yeah. I kind of share your sentiment there, Watson.
Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewellery?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector.
Be my guest.
Very well.
Okay. Well, I think that's quite enough for our introductory episode. So, we have possessed Sherlock Holmes, and he's now been the victim of some slander. And yes, stare longingly into Watson's eyes there, Holmes. Yes, that's lovely. So, with that, for a lovely first episode, this is again another game that was donated and suggested very, very highly by all the people from the You Pick the Game video. This was donated by Resender, and I am having a lot of fun already, so we shall see how this goes next time.